Hey everybody, hope you guys doing all right. So this is an idea I just came up with for a deep sea trash and plastic removal submarine. They actually already have a few very small ones. They don't have any that like this though at all. This guy can literally. So there's a lot here, but these right here. So all right, so these are all suction tubes that, and I'm pretty sure you can make hemp tubes. So this whole, I mean, as much as this submersible that can be made out of hemp, well, maybe making it out of hemp. It's kind of obvious, but just thought I'd share that anyway. And then again, these crosses, all you see right here, all these crosses are going to be hemp solar panels, and hemp solar panels do work underwater. They can also develop. So I mean, I'm saying this is a submersible, a submarine can float on top of the water as well as go underneath. So when it's obviously above the water floating, it could be able to absorb the sun and thus charge its electrical batteries, which is what it's going to run on, is electricity. And you have electrical thrusters right here, which are completely eco-friendly and clean, and this would give you the ability to thrust, to move, navigate. Now, as far as changing direction and all that, I still have to work on, developing a way to help. I don't know if there's a way you could maybe shift. Maybe I might have to work on that design so you could shift it a little bit or something like that. But that's essentially where they'd be, is around that area. It's just the first time it came to me, so it's very preliminary. But yeah, all these tubes would essentially be interchangeable with three different types of parts. So you could put on giant like clongs or tongs or claws or like kind of like bulldozer clamps or hands, essentially, kind of like lobster claws, or but anyways, what is and that would help you, there's big ships out there. There's all sorts of sunken ships and cars and objects and things that you may need to move to get around, to get into, to get trash out, and just help pick up and piece together and tear apart trash to put it into the sub to get it off the ocean floor. So you could have those, if that's what the situation calls for. Again, it's interchangeable, so you can take them off and not use them if that's not what the situation needs. These would just be a large hole that and then I have. So I'm sorry. Before I talk about that, these right here, back here, are going to be little small mini submarine ports where you could have I'm going to have a small fleet of mini submarines inside the submersible, and they could come out of the submarine, and then they could come around into the surrounding deep sea ocean and help move and pick up trash and help push them into these large tubes, which are the suction tubes that suck in the waste of trash and plastic waste. And then right here at the very back, you have the very large one for very, very, very large objects like old decaying cars or vehicles or just whatever types of trash may be down there that needs a large opening. You could put stuff in through that way, and again, you could use the submarines to help push it in. You can also develop suction devices. I mean, it's going to be running on a suction system too, so you could hit the suction switch and literally you could essentially just suck it in on its own power. Now you got to make sure that you don't suck in any wildlife, or marine life, or anything that shouldn't be sucked in. And or you also want to have a filter system, because I'm sure some stuff is going to get sucked in, so you want to make sure that the stuff that does get sucked in that shouldn't be sucked in is able to be filtered out from the stuff that's bad and put back into the ocean where it belongs. And then on the side over here, you have each side you're going to have water filters, so that while this whole thing is the whole time it's underwater, it's constantly filtering the water of the area that it's around. So just by going through, you have little vents in the side. Maybe it's not the best spot to put them right there. Maybe I should put them closer up there. Yeah, it's probably a good idea, because it's going to be going through the water. So you want to, as it's going through the water, it's going to be able to filter the water. But maybe you could have some right there too, because you could also do a suction system that just sucks in water, and you have a filter and a grate to make sure that nothing gets in there, and it's still able to suck in water from multiple points. So, but anyway, so that's where you're gonna have a water filter there. This is for your communications relay, a satellite. Now I'm thinking about you're gonna want manned people on there, presumably, but there's a possibility of just making this whole thing completely remote control. It is a possibility. Just like the mini subs could be completely remote control. So, but if that were the case, you want to make sure you have a very, very, very good communications uplink and satellite and all that. So that's why you have a very large dish looking thing right here. And I mean, I don't know all the specs on that, but that's essentially, you want to put that there somewhere. So I put it there. And then right here would be, if you wanted to have be manned, the opposite, it's a possibility. So this would be the observation port or the command center right here. That's why it looks like a little window. Sorry if I'm a little tongue-tied. I've been up for a while. I'm a little kind of a weird mood, but I'm in a good mood, and I'm glad I got this done, because this could literally help clean up the oceans in a very, vast way, and they don't have anything like this that I've seen. I mean, this thing's gonna be huge, very, 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 very big. It's gonna be able to clean up, and we have a big problem, so we need a big, fleet of these things, really, all over the ocean, just constantly just cleaning up plastic, cleaning up plastic, cleaning up plastic. Okay, so then inside this hole, I want to have, I worked at Safeways and stuff like that, and they have trash compactors and plastic compactors. So you'd have trash and plastic compactors inside the submarine, so that it can continue to compact the trash and the plastic and store it in the submarine, so that it wouldn't have to continue to go back to land to drop it off. It would just be more efficient to have your own storage and compacting system inside the submersible. So I'd like to make that happen. And then down here, this is just to show you guys when it was moving from one location to another, or like when it's really moving at, at a faster speed than maybe just like a slow crawl, or essentially, I don't know, you might want to just be completely at a dead stop when you're using all these different arms over here, because it might just make it that, yeah, that's probably what you're going to want to do. So yeah, this would be essentially when it would be set down on the base, or whatever type of stationary spot it's going to be, and it could use its arms to collect all the garbage around the area. Then the mini subs can go out and do their thing too. And then this would be the position that it would take, much like a turtle that's swimming in the ocean. When it has its propulsion and it's moving through the ocean, it would the arms would be able to move backwards like this, and even the long extensions, things right here, which I'll get into, they'll also be able to just kind of drag behind, and the claws could also just kind of drag behind, and it would just allow for more aerodynamic flow through the ocean, much like a turtle. So yeah, and then so these guys right here, these are going to be really intricate for getting all the bottles on the bottom of the ocean floor, and there's a ton of them. In fact, I have the stats over here. So we got 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean. Of that, 269,000, sorry, it's kind of hard to read my writing, 269,000 tons, float on the surface. So yeah, so of that, 269,000 tons float on the surface, while some 4 billion plastic microfibers per square kilometer litter the deep sea. So there's a ton on the deep floor too. Sorry, it was hard to read that. That's why it comes out like it sounds like shit. But anyway, all right, moving on here. So each one of these essentially would be coming off of, again, the suction tube. And again, you could, if you wanted to, you could fit this whole thing out with these guys, and you could even do it with this guy too. You have tons of them, so if you could literally, in each one of them. Okay, so yeah, that could be done. All of these can be interchangeable with the 3 different parts, whether it's just a straight suction tube, or it's the claws, or it's these long tentacles, which. So out of each one of these tentacles, you're also going to have, they're going to sprout about 4 or 5, or however many we can, maybe even more, maybe 12 or a dozen, I don't know, as many as it can be outfitted on to each one of these small tentacles will be also their own individual small tentacles that's just big enough to get like a 2-liter or gallon bottle, the biggest, most average sized plastic bottle. And so each one of those would be able to suck up 1 bottle at a time. So essentially, if you had, like, just for instance, if you had 5 hoses, and then out of each 5 of those hoses, you had 4 extension little hoses that could suck into each bottles, then you'd be able to suck in 20 bottles, each time through these 5 hoses. And because it's a suction service, it's not like just picking it up and having to put it somewhere. You could just keep suck one in and keep sucking another one in, suck another one in, suck another one, and you have to make sure you line it up right. So it's going to take time to make sure it is going to be a very tedious process, but that's where you could use technologies. And I'm hoping that there's a way that, with the mini submarines and visualizations and ways of technologies of today, that we can pinpoint, target like specific water bottles, like military's target, targets, and you hit the go button, and that tentacle would go right to that water bottle, and then it could suck in that water bottle, and then you have visual, and you see where the next water bottle is, and you hit the button and go, that's the next target, and you suck in that water bottle, and boom, and then that's the operation. That's how you would do that. And you might need a whole bunch of different people working remote control to operate the tentacles essentially, but that's a job that could be done, kind of like UAV pilots and drone pilots, and instead of using it to kill people and do all these crazy military strikes, we can use that same type of technology and the idea to help clean up the oceans. So it's pretty cool. Oh, and then these are escape pods. I got 4 of them right there, escape pods, and you can also use the mini sub ports as well to escape again, that's if it's going to be manned, which it probably will be, because it's just such a large submersible. There's things that can go wrong, and this and that, and also, if you are going to have this many people, like, working all these different types of tentacles, to pick up all the plastic bottles. It might be a more efficient and direct and just thorough way to communicate with the tentacles, to have them right here next to the tentacles, you know, in the submersible, rather than some far off on land or even above ocean, you know, type of ship location. Just being closer to the device that you're communicating with, you know, seems to be able to give you a better signal. So it's probably better to do it that way. And then you'd also have people there to help take care of any type of problems, maintenance problems or damages or troubles that took place on the ship. So yeah, I think try checking there. I think I got everything. Let me see if there's anything else I didn't share with y'all. And so the pointer one, yeah, I mean, he was just gonna stay, since he's already pretty aerodynamic. He can just go ahead and stay just like that. I talked about the solar panels. I talked about water filters, satellite, the house aeration deck. Yeah, I think that's yeah, I think that's it. What's down there again? Oh, I'm pretty so. I looked it up. You can make they talk about making holes for ships out of hemp. So I'm assuming it's possible to make a submersible out of hemp plastic. So, but when I initially looked it up, I didn't find anything that popped up that says yes, you can make a submarine on hemp plastic. So I still need to double check to make sure that's possible. But if you make a car, essentially, I think it feels like you can make an airplane too. But I know you can make a car, and they're saying you can make the holes of boats out of hemp plastic. So I'm assuming you can make a submersible out of hemp plastic too. So anyway, all right, I love you guys. Hope you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.